3 dogs. Alright, let's do this. How tough is that dog? Seriously tough dog. Wow. Okay, so here's the deal. My biggest thing right now is I don't think that boys have a great understanding of how to build things. Okay, so let me talk to you about the basics. So we're going to start with the very basics. I'm going to put stuff up on my screen, and you're going to see basically how to build this. So, you know, all of this, the solar panel array with the controller and the battery, all these ships. You know, I've got what, 3 flying ships, and 3 ground ships just right there, and then I've got the big one over there. Plus, I'm putting the stuff in the base. We're clearing the base out. Well, I need you guys to help. Not only help, but I need you guys to design stuff and figure stuff out. I don't need to be the engineer of the family. I need you guys to actually help in that aspect as well. Sophia, I think you're going to figure it out as you go. But Boaz and Rex, this is mostly for you guys. And we're going to start with just the basic stuff of how to make things. Okay, we're not going to get into designing crafts yet, just how to work with the equipment that you got. Okay, and we'll be using everything we buy. Not everything, but we'll be using the stuff that we've already built so far. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the first perspective. First person's perspective, okay, right here. And I'm going to turn my HUD on, my heads up group display is what it's called. So if you look at my bottom left corner there, you see J, X, O, and L. Okay, the L is simply the light. It turns your light on and off. Okay, the O, okay, that is how much, if you're transmitting or not. Communicate. So my O, I'm going to leave off right there. So X, obviously, you guys have already been playing with the X, so that's your flying ability. And then the J, obviously, is your, let me turn this back around again. So if I do J, it opens that, closes that. So the reason I mostly have mine open is because this is an oxygen atmosphere. I can breathe in it. The only time I can't breathe it when there's a windstorm and there's a lot of dust, I close my visor. Okay, now back to the basics. We're going to work on machines. So some of the first basic machines that we have. In fact, I'm going to build that right there. Some of the first basic machines that you start off with actually are here. I'm going to turn my light back on so you can see. So when you start off on your vehicle, okay, you're going to get, this is called the survival kit, okay? On the survival kit is see what it says over there, it's an all-in-one factory to get a space engineer started. Oh, by the way, on the bottom left-hand of the screen, we didn't completely go through all the rest of that stuff. The plus is the health. The food, obviously, is the fork and the knife. The energy is 8, that's how much your suit power has. The O2 is your oxygen. The H2 is your hydrogen. Hydrogen is for fuel for flying. The oxygen is for breathing, and the power is for using power tools. And of course, eating is that there here. Then you have the HUD, how fast you're traveling in meters per second. Okay, your suit actually travels a little bit faster than the speed limit, which is good. And Z closes your dampering on and off. Now, if you ever want to experiment, it's great to experiment with that in space. But on the ground, use your dampeners because you will absolutely skip across the ground and wipe out. Anyway, back to the survival kit. So all-in-one factory to get a space engineer started, but it has limited refining and assembly capabilities. It allows a player to recharge. So when this is on, it's working off the battery, which is out down there. Okay, and this also has a hydrogen tank and an oxygen tank. And anyway, but the bottom line is this thing here is what we start with. Okay, so we're going to start here, and we're going to talk about these things first. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get into the vehicle. Start the vehicle. vehicle, and I do that by pressing, on the bottom right, it says P for parking brake, O is for the students in the city, but we'll leave that on for now. And then the, actually, you know what, no, we're not going to look for it in a second. But anyway, actually, you know what, we're not going to. And here's your power. Power is Y. Now, I've got this one particular set up on, you've got your parking brake on 1, your lock and unlock on your back connectors on 2, and then your OR is on 3, and then of course 9 is the gyroscope in case you flip over. Alright, so let's get back up on this here so we can talk about this. Okay, so now we're going to go into the screen. There's a couple things though. So if I hold my left, if I go to F and I click this, it will add oxygen, hydrogen, electricity to my suit and heal me. But it doesn't, obviously don't have any food. But if I go in and I press, okay, I'm going to hold on this, and if you look, it says hold F to recharge, press K to open the terminal, and press I to open the inventory of the survival kit. So let's look at the K first. Okay, we're just going to go over it real brief, but then we'll go into that much more in depth. But this has all the stuff on this particular vehicle, okay? It has all the wheels and all the settings for the wheels, okay? This controls how fast it'll go and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can, okay, so yeah, so you can set this all the way up, but it's not going to make that big of a difference, okay? Your friction, if you start having an issue with your turning, and you don't want to turn, you want to turn this down so you skid a little bit. Okay, the height offset on your wheel is there. You can change it and lower it. Let's see the strength. Okay, the strength of the height offset, basically that. And you have the power and the steering angle. And I'll let you guys experiment with that. And this all should be self-explanatory right there. But if you want to go into deeper, we can. Okay, and then here's your survival kit. Okay. I don't know if this is, yeah, that's stuff you can add to content your screen by your panels. Okay, what they're talking about is this is your upper panel, that's your lower panel. You see that right now it's just set up for basic stuff. Okay, if I go to I, this is where all your function stuff is. So this is what I'm carrying, and this is what, oh, matter of fact, this is what's on the vehicle, okay? So right now, this vehicle actually has some stuff. I've probably taken out all the other, yeah, I have. I've taken out all the iron and all that kind of stuff, so I can't make much anything right at the moment. But if I did, we could actually put some stone in there, and it would start making things. Okay. By the way, the control panel is what we looked at earlier. Production. Okay, this is where this thing the survival kit can produce things. It can produce computers, instruction comps, displays, girders, the interior plate, motors, the solar cell, and steel plates. That's all that this thing can do for your components. Now, it also does ingots, and it will take rock and make nickel, silicon, and iron. Ingots. Okay, so that's how you turn this on. So when you first get a vehicle, you won't have anything in production, so you have to tell it to produce stuff. So if I push it once, it'll add 1. If I push it control once, it'll add 20. Oops. Remember I said I couldn't breathe in a storm? That's exactly what happened. So I closed my visor, and now I can breathe. Okay, so back to production. Okay, so anyway, and then you got control, click, click 1, control click 10, and shift click is 100, and control shift click is 1,000. Okay, and then you've got these right here. Same thing applies as far as the quick stuff goes. Now you can make equipment. You can make a data pad. Oh, by the way, each one of these things each one of these things requires, like this one here requires, it tells you what it requires. Okay? So if I hover over this, it'll tell me it requires a silicon wafer and an iron ingot. It's just iron ingots. So like I'm waiting for again, iron ingots, nickel and iron, and then silicon and nickel, and then iron ingots. Okay, so if I go down to equipment, I can make a flare gun with some flares. Just pay attention to what requires. And you can make tools, you can make weapons, and the ammo for that weapon. And then if you have kelp, you can make some kelp placement. That's the other thing. So I have never found kelp outside of making it myself. Okay, so now you notice we're down to 108. So if I hold my F, this will charge me back up and heal me back up. And the reason I have 150 is because I've maxed out my, I haven't died, and I've maxed out my health. I get bonuses. So that screen right there has the same process as, I know what it said, as this one does, okay? It's the same thing. It's a survival kit, type 2, okay? This one here is just built on a base, okay? Now there's two different things. You've got the inventory piece here. But we notice it says press K to open terminal, I to open inventory, and then the middle mouse to withdraw components. Okay? So you can withdraw components here, but if I'm going back and forth, it's much quicker than that. But anyway, let's say that, okay, I want to make a steel plate. Okay? So I come up here, I'm going to press I, go to production, and here's my survival kit. Now in this particular instance, there's other things, and we'll talk about these in a second. But right now, we're going to talk about this survival kit that I'm walking in front of right now. Now even though these are red, okay, and it says, oh, you can't make that because you need iron ingots. So if I go to the survival kit, I don't have any iron in here, okay? However, if I go into my assembler, I've got iron there, and in my storage, actually, I think I'm returning into the, yeah, it's got it there as well. So bottom line is, it's going to pull it, as long as it has access, like I built on the floor here, there's access to these things. So anyway, I want to make a steel plate, so in production, I'm in this kit. All I'm going to do is I want one steel plate. I'm going to click this one time. Okay? It's going to source the iron, and it's going to create it, and it's going to drop it to the inventory. So now if I go back to inventory, and I do just the survival kit, there it is. Okay? So I'll drop it there and take my inventory. Okay? Since I've already got a bunch of stuff already here, this is about over 1,000. Because we're building the base, we're going to be using that a bunch. But anyway, that's how you do it. So you come up here, you press I, go to production, and on the survival kit, these are your options. Okay? Just like the survival kit on your vehicle. Okay? However, now let's go look at this base assembler. Look now. Not only do we got this, we got this, we got more things to choose from. Okay? A lot more things to choose from. Okay? So why would we need all these different things? Well, certain things need different things. Okay? Now I don't have a full-on assembler yet, so we could be able to work stuff later. But right now, this is our base components of what we can make. Okay, these power cells, I end up using. I gotta make a bunch of these power cells. It's just one of those things. They're heavy, so I usually throw them back on the vehicle and take them to the base. What I want to do is I want to make an assembler up there already. I've got to keep running back and forth because it does take time. But anyway, so if I load things into the storage or into the system where this is all combined, this whole everything here is all combined. Okay, so if I have something going in, it pulls it in there. All this food combines into the food processor. All this up here, it has the two connectors here, a connector there, and a connector there. So I can combine, I can not only pull stuff out, I can put stuff in, okay? That I'll let you experiment with, okay? And this, by the way, the food process, the food stuff, What we can do is we can reconfigure stuff down here and make more food stuff out here. But again, that's stuff we'll have to make and work on. Okay, so let's say I want to make something. Okay, so how I'm going to do? I got to decide what it is I want to make. So let's say I want to make. I don't know. Let's say on this vehicles over here. Okay. Oh shoot, man! Come on. Okay, so on let's say on these vehicles over here. See, all these right here. Let's say I want to put a seat on one of these. Okay. I don't know which one, and I don't know where. Yeah, but I want to put a seat on the outside here, so two people or maybe three people can travel on this at one time. Okay. So let's say I want to make a seat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push G, and it's going to bring up all this stuff. Now, progression is a thing. Okay. Now I can tell you right now, I have done a lot of progression, and I've shared all of my progression with the faction, and I don't know that there's much left. I think you guys can pretty much make everything. Yeah, it's that way. So I don't think there's anything that has not been progressed into. So with that said, when you pull up your screen, you should be able to see all the stuff that I'm saying. So let's say I want to find a seat. So look here, it's a passenger seat. Okay. So I'm going to grab a passenger seat. Okay. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to hover over it. And notice over here on the right, I'm looking over this area right here. Notice over on the right, it tells me I need 20 construction compositions and 20 interior plates. And it's going to cost me 15 PCU. Now, you guys aren't going to have to worry about PCU. I have unlimited PCU on this particular server. But you are going to need to worry about the construction compositions and the interior plates. So I need 20 and 20. Okay? So let's say I want to place this. So I want to take this and I put it down here at my number 4. Okay? It's automatically going to put this into a little thing here that says, okay, this is how I'm going to place my thing. So then I'm going to come up. All right, so I've got my chair, and I want to place my chair. Okay. So let's say I want to place it, but I can't place it. Well, why can't I place it? Well, if you remember, on the components over there on the right, I need interior plates and construction codes. If I go to my inventory, I don't have either. So if you look at the very bottom one, it's an interior plate. So I have to have at least one interior plate to place that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab. I'm going to go to where my stuff is at, and I have one interior plate. So if I do a left click, I'll grab all of them. If I double click it, it'll grab all of them. But I just want one at the moment. So I'm going to do a right click and drag it. So right click it and drag it, and it's going to ask how many. I just want one at the moment because I just want to replace it. That's all I want to do. It's actually going to be landing fairly close. I'm going to check that out. So now, if I put up my seat again, well, look, now I can return it. Okay, right there. I can actually place it. So if I place my seat, now you'll notice, now I got to build it. Can I build it? Well, I don't have anything other than that one plate I just placed. So I can either memorize what I've got here, or I can do a right click and watch what happens. Bump, components added to a build planner. So now I'm going to jump back over here. I'm going to come over here. Remember, there's two different things. Okay. I can do it one of two ways. I'm going to do it this way because it's easier. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add the components to the build planner. Okay, and let's go look at the build planner, by the way. So the build planner is down here. Okay, it says I need 19 interior plates, 20 construction codes. Wait a minute, didn't it say it needed 20 and 20? Well, yeah, but I already replaced one. So I did one already. So it's going to build that and then. So if I went over here and click this, it would actually build those. However, remember, I've got a bunch of stuff already, right? So what I'll do is I'll come over here to this door. Now, I want to see the very middle mouse button to draw the components from the survival kit type 2. Middle mouse button is the wheel. I click it, and it says, look, all the components were successfully drawn. So now I come back over here. Okay, and let's go to the front. Do it this way. So now I'm going to go, boop, and look, everything showed up. Okay. Now notice, when I hit functional, okay, it's an operational seat. I don't need to rebuild it anymore. I can actually grind out the rest of the interior plate and all that kind of stuff. Or I can, but it's only a 16% strength, or so if I ever need parts off of something, I can come up to my thing and says, okay, what kind of parts can I get? Okay, so it's going to tell me I need like interior stuff. And I can grind those parts out as far as I can, but once I hit that functional line, it's no longer functional. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say I want 10 interior plates. Okay, so I got 10 interior plates now it's working on constructions. Now remember, if I did with one, it left it with one construction time. Okay, it's still functional. But if I drop below that, now it's not. Okay? And that's just what I'm trying to show you. Okay? Alright, so that should be enough for now. Basically just showed you how to grind stuff down for components, how to build stuff, how to know what to do, what you need for a build, and all that good stuff. So hopefully that helps, and hey, when you come back in, you can help with stuff now. And yeah, I need your help, because we got a long way to go. Because remember, before it's all done, we're going up that planet, to that moon, to that planet, and then over that way, somewhere in that direction. I think it's either another planet or another moon. Okay, so we've got a long way to go. We haven't even made craft to get us in space yet. So anyway.